It helps everyone, but sometimes we're not aware of it. But it does transform, cleanse, purify, increases circulation. See what it does. The Relax Sauna, it vibrates the water molecules. That's all it does. What does far infrared energy saunas do, or far infrared energy? It vibrates the water molecules, one thing only. But that's magical.
You are listening to The Dr. Haley Show, the podcast dedicated to helping you optimize your health. Each episode, there will be an interview or a message to help you discover better health. We will be featuring health radicals on the show to bring new ideas to the table, as well as doubling down on key fundamentals to support you living your best life. Your host is no other than the founder of Haley Nutrition, Dr. Michael Haley.
This is the Dr. Haley Show podcast. I'm Dr. Michael Haley, show host. Today's guest, Phillip Wilson from Momentum 98 and Relax Saunas.com. Did I say that right? Relax Saunas with an
Yes.
S.com.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes.
Phillip, thanks for joining me on the show. I want to do a little recap on how I come to know the legendary Phillip Wilson. I think we had originally met, and dare I risk offending you, by saying before I was weird.
Good. Great. That sounds great.
And I think I met you probably 10 or 12 years ago did you ever attend a trade show in Schaumburg, Illinois?
Absolutely. We were there every year for there was the Health Freedom Expo.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And
Right.
at the time, you had a lot more products to offer than maybe currently now. Maybe you're a little more streamlined and okay.
Yeah.
I do
Right.
recall that. And I joke and I say, I met you before I was weird because my family thinks I'm weird now because, we eat organic and spend so much money on food and we do all of these healthy things in our life. We actually believe that the sun makes vitamin D for us,
Really?
And I wasn't always that way. I got out of chiropractic school in the mid-90s, and I had learned a lot about the human body and how it was made to heal, and it didn't really need much help. It just didn't need the interference. What I didn't realize is how many things in my life were interfering with the natural flow of energy and life, whether it was toxic foods or, unhealthy light and sound and influences in my life. And when I would meet someone like you that was practicing these things, you had, different things for massage therapy. I probably never even had a massage in my life, until maybe 2005 or something like that.
Yeah. Right.
And now I incorporate a lot of these natural things into my life because not only do I know that they're healthy for me and beneficial, but I can see and feel the evidence of it. And young, dumb me it doesn't matter what I eat. I'll just exercise it into this beautiful, human, amazing tissue. It doesn't work like that. You can get away with it for a little while, but it doesn't work like that. How did you evolve into Momentum 98 and RelaxSaunas.com?
Well, quite suddenly. It was gradual at first, but actually it wasn't. It was, I was minding my own business. Yeah. In 1970, when I was still an undergraduate getting an honors degree in mathematics at Indiana University, I had a girlfriend and she found another boyfriend. And I didn't like that. and then came a catharsis where he and I talked, and I realized that it was curtains for Lori and me. And so I was like, my whole world was destroyed, shattered, of being together with her forever and ever. And so I was like, in the relationship I saw was over and that he could be for her what I couldn't. And so I went through a trauma of having to go through life, my whole world destroyed without her. So I ended up having a realization at the time that I just needed to I was mathematics, two left brain, like out of balance. I was a thinker. I was not a feeler in the true sense of the word. And so I realized I needed to get involved in music, art, and dance. Well, 2-3 years later, looking back at the situation, no, I didn't have a realization. I experienced being taken out of the body by a group of beings, and they showed me the overhang of about 9 indoor handball courts, and in 1/3 of it, women were dancing, 1/3 women were doing art, 1/3 women were doing music, and they said, "Phil, you're too left brain. You know, even your liberal arts courses were in philosophy, logic, and in economics, and you need to get involved in music, art, and dance." And so the result of that is I became a feeler because somehow I got connected to that which from once you drink, you never drink again. And I was not very religious at all. I was brought up Jewish, and I was irreverent about it. I just enjoyed my life. I was a kind person. I was, I even got as bad as being nice. I don't believe in being nice. I believe in being kind. Nice is a social nicety. You simply, but anyway, I got connected to that which I am, and the inner guidance kicked in, and it led me through many, many, many experiences, and my body chemistry started changing. I remember within about a year, I remember drinking orange juice, 3-4 ounces of it, and I'd get a stomach ache. And 2 months later, I drank orange juice, a quart of it. I could handle it.
Interesting.
And so my body chemistry started changing. Well, a year and a half later, I was on campus at Ohio State University, where I was now a PhD fellowship student, going to get a PhD in math, never did. But they expected me to be very highly. My older brother had graduated college in 3 years and got his PhD in 3 years and was famous at Ohio State for solving a math problem in his PhD thesis that hadn't been solved for 60 years. And so they expected to be Mr. Mathematics, which I was in my high school, but they expected big things of me. But no, I lost my interest in mathematics because I'm tuned in now. I became the feeler.
Yeah.
I was the thinker becoming the feeler.
Yeah.
And
it almost sounds like you went
Yeah.
from existing to living.
Yes. That's exactly a good way of saying it. Yes.
I had no idea what direction this podcast might go or begin with, but right there, I think you just spoke to a lot of people because there's a lot of people that aren't really living and experiencing life and the relationships around them and seeing the beauty and smelling the roses. And
I have a definition of pain that I recognized about a year or two ago, and it's the awareness of time. So if you've ever waited or hurried or worried, those are all emotionally very, very painful experiences. And I was learning to live in the present moment. That guidance kicked in strongly, especially after I had that Kundalini awakening where I met this yogi and he showed me these exercises. And my whole body was filled with electricity, every single cell. It was cleansed and purified, just like when I'm in the Relax Sauna. But the Relax Sauna is a step-down version of what I call divine love, or being hugged warmly by your loving grandma, or a warm blanket. And so these are the experiences. And all of a sudden, I couldn't eat anything normal. So that was like another step function in the way of, oh my God. I ate a steak a couple days later, and it's like I felt comatose again. And it's like It took me about 6-7 hours worth of meditating, which I fell into on my own because the inner guidance kicked in. There's nothing that brought me succor. And so I would just sit there and do nothing and center. I would sit still, feel more and more that connection, and let it take me into a great state of freedom where I'd have all these realizations. And so I was so fascinated by that, I couldn't do math anymore. So I had to, I got permission from my math advisor to take philosophy courses and psychology courses and modern dance classes for a year, after which I was going to decide whether to go back into mathematics or not, because I just couldn't get into it. He was explaining to me that I needed to discipline myself. And that's when I understood the difference between discipline and self-force. See, discipline, I'll just finish this. Discipline is when you apply inward pressure to get yourself to do what you really, really, really want to do. And self-force is when you apply inner pressure to get yourself to do what you don't want to do, or you no longer want to do what you at once did.
Interesting. Something else you had said just a moment ago made me think of getting my first massages, being in my Relax Sauna for the first time, or having, whether it be a cold plunge or any kind of, what I once considered weird experience, now I come to love. And during that time, I do some of my best thinking. Your mind goes to places and you become alive. And whether it's dreaming, planning, thinking of people, it's real connection. It's a very neat experience. You mentioned a Relax Sauna, and for those that are on YouTube seeing this, I see there is one behind you, and I happen to have one of those in my bedroom of all places.
Good.
And it's a wonderful sauna where your body is experiencing all the warmth, yet your head can be sticking out if you want it, enjoying a nice, cool breeze. How often do you get in your Relax Sauna?
Every morning. I'm not into rituals. I miss a morning or two every month, but usually every morning for about 20 minutes, I get up in the morning, drink some water, get in the sauna. Sometimes I've got to be someplace, only do it for 5-10 minutes, but usually 20 minutes. Get out, drink some water, maybe take a shower. And then if there's still time, I do it for another 20 minutes and do another 20-minute sweat.
Yeah.
And then on spa day for Phil, about once a month, I'll do it 3 times, and I'll feel like I've been at the spa for 9 hours. It just rewires you. It just gets you connected. It feels, it puts a cup of coffee to shame in the morning. When I used to be a coffee drinker some 55 years ago, I've been coffee free for 55 years.
Yeah, and I'll admit I'm not coffee free, but I'm not bound by coffee. My wife and I, we enjoy our coffee in the morning, and it's a small coffee, and it's almost like just an herbal experience. My organic coffee with the coconut milk and a little bit of stevia and some of the protein powder. We like to wake up to it, but we're not consuming it to the point where it's causing adrenal fatigue and I need another cup an hour later and drink it throughout the day. It's just that.
I started drinking coffee at age 12 when I was allergic to chocolate. So I switched to coffee. At one time, initially it was half coffee and half cream and sugar. And now I found another coffee substitute that I like that's got the roasted barley, the chicory, the dandelion, and it's got it's got a little bit of cacao in it and for medicinal mushrooms. And I put my hemp milk or and my coconut sugar or my maple syrup, or even don't do that. So, I still like that feeling. I used to do a lot of Chinese herbs, and, my body chemistry has always been changing ever since ever since day one and day two. Those are day one and day two, those two experiences I had that have altered my life, and I've enjoyed the ride.
Yeah. So
it's
your
been
morning
fun.
cup of Joe isn't coffee, but it is a very herbal experience.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I had opened up my health food store in 1980, and I was like one of the original biohackers before they ever had the name biohacker. I just called it, I was always looking for tonics and Chinese herbs and algae and things to mix to put my head in the right position, because I wouldn't do coffee because it made my body too nervous.
I remember my father.
It
My
got
father
me off
used to bring
center.
a protein home from the health food store in the 70s and 80s, and it almost came in like a paint can that you had to pry open. And I
Oh,
have no
yeah.
idea what the source was, whether it was egg, soy, or I have no idea. Whey, I don't know. I don't think it was whey. I don't think it was egg. But it had a unique taste to it that I've never seen since. I kind of wonder what was in the protein back in those days. And I know that the health food store was a very, very different place in the 70s and 80s. I'm guessing you probably revolutionized it for towards the new, more herbal experience that we have these days.
Well, that's what my business was. I was selling cutting edge products to health food stores. The big main distributors that sold a truckload of food. I was selling the supplements and the massage tools and the color therapy glasses. Anything was weird and different. Uh, the blue green algae, the spirulina, the Chinese herbal combinations, the green powders, the essential oils, all that stuff, chlorine dioxide. I was selling all that stuff in the
Yeah.
80s. All of it I was selling in the 80s. And there's about 12 different, UPS distributors that were selling similar kinds of items. We all crept up in different parts of the United States to be a supplier to health food stores to get them connected, to get them, where they're really selling truly health foods, not B plus, but A minus and A plus
Yeah, that's what
products.
I remember health food stores to be like. They had protein, but they didn't have green powders in them. They had vitamins, which were more like chemical concoctions because they
Yeah,
were isolated vitamins. They weren't from, concentrated herbal food sources, as an example.
we were selling herbal vitamins in 1973.
Wow.
Chinese herbal combinations and green powders in 84. I was one of the first distributors selling essential oils to health food stores as well. They were not in health food stores pretty much before 1986. People kept on asking us, do you have essential oils? And lo and behold, there was an essential oil company that showed up.
That's
Yeah.
great. And that was another one for me. And, it was after 2000 that I was introduced to essential oils. And to me, at first, it was weird. And now it's like, oh, no, this makes total sense. These are very powerful oils. Um, Food is medicine. And how much more the herbal, strong superfoods that we're extracting these oils from, which is just making a concentrated source.
At the time in the early 70s or early 80s, I could not get my nutrients from American herbs even or American foods. I had to get the Chinese herbal combinations did something to my body. I was a strong experiencer, not believer, a strong experiencer of the power of Chinese herbs, how they could connect you into, and just, again, it's strengthening that connection. That to me was what I was always seeking out, so that I could be tuned in and learn to live in the present moment all of the time. Because if you're not living in the present moment, you're not alive.
Completely. Yeah. Yeah. That was a big lesson for me too, probably, 20, 30 years ago when I met someone and he was a pastor and
Yeah.
very much in the present. And I've never seen anything like that. When there was a handshake and the eyes met, there was something happening that was more than the typical conversation that I've had up to that point in my life. There was a connection because he was so in the present. And that was the time that I was introduced and woken up to the fact that, wait a second, there's this present moment that I've been in, but I was never really experiencing it. I was never really there. And then all of a sudden, when I meet people, I start actually hearing their names and remembering them.
Yes, right.
You enjoying the show thus far? One of the many health secrets that we have covered on the show is all around aloe vera, specifically drinking raw aloe vera. Our aloe vera has helped our customers effectively heal their gut, increase their intestine health, lower inflammation in the body, eliminate and or decrease acid reflux, have glowing skin and hair, and so much more. Now, as a frequent member of our audience, you will be exposed to exclusive specials and coupon codes for the awesome products manufactured by Haley Nutrition. That's right, for simply being awesome and tuning in. You can get a mini discount to help you optimize and better your health. To see how we can help and support you on your health journey, tune into the episodes and listen for coupon codes that you can use at www.haleynutrition.com before you make your orders of raw aloe vera. Once again, it's www.haleynutrition.com. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, when I was a high school student in mathematics or even in grade school, I was right there experiencing it, learning all the math, and I already knew it. And I didn't even know people took their books home to study for a test the next day. Oh, I don't have any homework. Great, because I learned it in the moment.
That's next level living in the present. That's great.
Yeah, right. And, this is why I love the Relax Sauna so much. Of all the products I've been selling since 1973 and since I opened up my health food store in 1980, the Relax Sauna, of all things, it gives you light nutrients. It gives you that special frequency that comes from the sun that the Relax Sauna company has isolated through the use of a computer technology called semiconductor chips. And it took them 10 years from 1987 to 1997 to find a way to take electricity and to give you a concentrated amount of the active ingredient of invisible light that speaks to your cells. It vibrates with your water molecules. It vibrates the water molecules of your body. Why? Because it's the same frequency as the water. And so the whole secret of the success of a far infrared sauna and the Relax Sauna specifically is that we give you 100% of the frequency of light that's the same frequency as the human body and the water in the body. Now, Pythagoras, he was the father of modern mathematics, and always one of my heroes, the Pythagorean theorem. He was actually a great spiritual being who taught wisdom. And he said, everything vibrates. And so if you've heard of the Rife technology, the Rife machines, that if you have a certain disease like leukemia or Lyme disease or arthritis or any kind of disease, there's a frequency that disease has. And if you find that same frequency on the Rife machine, which is invented by a man named Royal Rife, and the government, found a way to slander him and stuff him and take him out of the equation because it interfered with their
drug sales.
This world is backwards. Yes, exactly. This world is backwards. We don't have health insurance. We have sickness insurance. We don't have life insurance. We have death insurance. And they try to mask it by calling it the
life
opposite.
Insurance. That's good.
So, and anyway, we give you the light nutrients. See, water vibrates at a certain frequency. I don't want to confuse people, but the frequency is 8 microns, which is about 1/6 the diameter of the human hair. That's the wavelength.
The invisible wavelength that we don't see because sound and light is waves.
Yeah, we can only see we have the visible spectrum, which we can see. We can't see X-rays. We can't see ultraviolet light. We can't see gamma waves or microwaves that come out of this thing. We can't see, as a matter of fact, the EMF coming out of that cell phone is 100 times more dangerous than the EMF of any household appliance. let alone the Relax Sauna. And there's a Dr. Yamaguchi who's done a lot of research out of Japan, says that far infrared energy between 7 and 14 microns, not only does it vibrate the water molecules, and only that frequency vibrates the water molecules, because the human body is at 9.4 microns. And he said the 7 to 14 micron frequency vibrates the water molecules, which makes sense if the water molecule is 8 and the human is 9.4, and we give you 7 to 14. And that's what the Relax Sauna took 10 years to figure out how to do, to get out of electricity. We filter out the near infrared, which only penetrates 1/16 inch into the body and is good for the skin, and the mid infrared is good for the muscles. But the far infrared, which the far infrared saunas were popularized by Dr. Sherry Rogers in 2001, 2002, when she came out with her classic book that spawned the whole far infrared sauna industry. And the name of the book is Detoxify or Die. She was an environmental medical doctor. People were left to dead by the medical establishment. I suppose you've never heard of that happening before. And they had multi-chemical sensitivities and environmental concerns. And in the late 1990s, she put them in far infrared saunas, the wooden far infrared saunas, and got them back to health.
Wow.
Because it's the frequency of light, it's the life, it's like basking in divine love. And that can cure anything.
Yeah. Hey, let me simplify some things just to make sure we're talking about the same thing here. If I go to relaxsaunas.com, you have a couple options when it comes to saunas, and there's some price differences. What does the less expensive one have? What does the more expensive one have that is missing in the lesser expensive?
Well, actually, they have the same generator of the far infrared light, the emitter. See, the radiators, you can't see them, but they're hidden by the black tent on the bottom. There are two radiators. Each of them has, they're about maybe 8 inches, 6, 7 inches square, or it's a cube, a 6, 7 inch cubicle of the radiator. We don't call them heaters because they do not generate heat. They generate light. But when I call them a lighter, people said, that's a lighter. I get those at the 7-Eleven shop for a couple dollars each, and it fits in my pocket. No. This is an emitter of far infrared light, of a beautiful, loving light that's the same frequency that according to Dr. Yamaguchi, it vibrates your water molecules, and that weakens the ionic bonds and releases poisonous toxic gases from the body and heavy metals, and only that frequency does it. And that frequency also is the antidote to EMF poisoning. It's the antidote to overexposure of ultraviolet, which is called sunburn. So the last thing you would think if you had a sunburn of pain 7 or 8 was to go into the Relax Sauna. And I say, yes, absolutely. You're crazy not to. I guarantee every person with a sunburn, I've put about 8 in at conferences where their pain is 7 or 8, and they come out with 0 or 1 pain in 5 to 7 minutes every time, because it hydrates the skin. Everyone who goes in the Relax Sauna says their skin starts looking more beautiful. And one lady, not only did that happen, but her cellulite was 70% gone. But more importantly, her blood reports where she was toxic and had heavy metals of lead and mercury for 30 months in a row, coming off, you got too much lead and mercury in your body for 30 months in a row. And after 1 month of using the Relax Sauna, her blood report came back normal. And she felt great.
Makes me want to go get my Relax Sauna right now.
Oh yeah, it's a godsend to so many. It's unbelievable.
I should have done this podcast in my Relax Sauna. I don't know if I could do an hour though. What's the difference between the silver and the black?
Well, they have the same radiator. The black one, after about 10, 12, 13 years of having the Relax Sauna with a silver, I guess some people might have complained about looking like a toaster oven cover. But they created it initially as a special to make rich Taiwanese people feel good about being special, like being a member of the Harley Club. And so it's got, you can't tell it the way it is, but there's an embroidered ivory logo. I'll just do it. It's got the embroidered ivory logo. I mean, it looks great. If you're a high-end spa, boy, that looks beautiful. And to make it different from the silver tent, they made the black tent twice as thick.
Okay.
So it does retain the heat and better. And some people like it better. All the Major League Baseball teams, they always order the black tent sauna from us. The Dodgers used it for the last 3 years and won the World Series last year. We sent 2 of them to Citi Field in New York for their National League Championship game. I got a picture of one of their players in the Relax at the ballpark. So I tell people, if you're concerned about your health, the silver sauna, you're not sacrificing your health by buying the Relax Sauna silver tent. It's the same radiator, the same frequency, and it'll take you 21 minutes to finish the sweat in the silver sauna instead of 20 minutes in the black one. The Relax Sauna is about 900% more therapeutic. That's quite a claim, than any other sauna on the planet. And so 900% compared to 950% is not much of a difference.
Right. I get it. Have the radiators changed over the years? And the reason I'm asking, I probably got mine from you maybe 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago.
They haven't. We believe that Dr. Cheng and his team of scientists who invented the Relax Sauna in around 97, we believe they deserve the Nobel Prize, because getting divine love, step-down version of divine love in a box is not an easy task.
Yeah.
And it's monumental on the effect, because it activates the parasympathetic in a way that other saunas can't, because when you have that 7 to 14 micron, and this is the active ingredient, and we sent the Relax Sauna, a $1,400 portable sauna pretending to be us, low EMF, full spectrum sauna, and a $250 Amazon sauna. We sent them to Harvard MIT Science and Technology Lab, and they sent us a report saying the frequency of the Relax Sauna is all between 7 and 14 microns, the same frequency that Polytechnic University a year earlier had said, after testing the Relax Sauna radiators for 60 minutes, verified, as 2 universities in Taiwan did, it's between 7 and 14 microns. And that's the same frequency, the magical frequency that Dr. Yamaguchi talked about. The $1,400 sauna was measured at 1.2 to 6 microns, 8% far infrared ray. The Amazon sauna, to our surprise and shock, was 0%. It was 100% near infrared with the carbon panels, 0.95 to 1.32. I don't want to confuse people with the numbers, but the $1,400 sauna, we had 1/12 the EMF of, 180th the EMF of the, but again, they can't do as much damage as the Wi-Fi in any house or hotel, or the carrying a cell phone. But the $1,400 sauna was 20% more therapeutic in the intensity of the penetration and depth of the light into the body. It was 20% more therapeutic than the Amazon sauna. The Relax Sauna was 450% more therapeutic in terms of the intensity of the penetration, according to the lab report. And this is what we've expected, because for 23 years, I've gone to about 500 professional and consumer conferences demonstrating the Relax Sauna with 5 to 7 minute treatments. And in 5 to 7 minutes, I tell people, because most saunas takes 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes to preheat, and then it takes a while to do a sweat. Well, the Relax Sauna takes 30 seconds to preheat. In 8 minutes, you're usually sweating. In 15 minutes, you're dripping. In 20 minutes, you're drenched. And so you can have a full, complete sweating detox sweat in 20 minutes. But what the Relax Sauna offers that no other sauna does is a 5 to 7 minute treatment with your clothes on without sweating.
I get it.
And not only do you,
and that's accurate. I've experienced that.
Yeah. And not only do you feel loved, like because it's loving light in that short period of time, and it takes about 3 minutes to feel that warm love. One guy in New Mexico at a conference, he was just going on raving. He said, "Oh my gosh, I can feel the mitochondria in my hands, in my feet, in my legs, in my chest, even in my head now." He said, "I've got $5,000, $6,000 equipment that can't do this." And so it's like, it's just the kind of responses I get at shows. But in 5 to 7 minutes at these conferences where I'll put 150,000 people in the Relax Sauna over all these years, I've seen 30,000 major miracles. I can almost guarantee every single time without fail, in 5 to 7 minutes, 100% of your pain, at least 50% will be gone every single time. And that's what's hard to believe.
Yeah.
So don't believe, experience it. But the people listening to this podcast, they have to trust. And that's why the Relax Sauna at relaxsaunas.com, we always give a 30-day money-back guarantee. We do not want you to be stuck with something that is not going to assist you, that you're not going to love, that you're not going to utilize. And it changes, it transforms. Not only does it transform your house into a home, because where there's a home, there's a hearth, a place of warmth, but it'll transform your health in 3 days to 3 weeks every time. And if it doesn't, send it back. Do you know why people don't send it back?
Because they like them. They can't give up something that you've been introduced to that you can't live without.
Well, that's true, but also the fact that then they can't use it the next morning.
Now, although you're not going to heat up in those first 7 or 8 minutes, might you heat up a little faster in the black one because you kind of described it as being heavier? And is that why some people prefer it?
Usually in 5 to 7 minutes, there's not a whole lot of difference. But in 20 minutes, a lot of people report there is. I haven't noticed a difference myself, but some people, they just love the black one. And we used to sell 6 silver saunas for every black sauna we sell, and now we're selling just 2 silver saunas for every black sauna we're selling.
Okay.
So they're becoming more popular because they look good. They look sharp. If you're making $30,000 a month, well, hell, I'll pay $2,300 for that instead of $1,700. I'll get the best. I love the way it looks for my high-end spa. And, I used to spend 7 times more for colored staples than silver staples because it brought me joy.
Well, it makes sense. Get things you like and that you're going to use. And
yeah.
Tell me about some of the experiences that you remember that maybe you didn't expect. You put someone in at a trade show for 5 to 7 minutes, and then this happened. What are some of the things that you have to tell that you love telling other people, other stories about things you've seen happen?
That's the best question, because that's what inspires people. When you hear stories about an issue that you have and people overcoming that issue. I had 2 vaccine injured nurses cry because for the first time in 2 years, they had feeling in their fingers and they could feel the circulation in their legs. And that was very heartwarming. And a friend of theirs actually came and bought both of them Relax Saunas because she knew that the relief they were experiencing was profound and was transforming their life to be able to experience that. There's one lady, Dr. Klinghardt, had a partner and still does, who at an autism conference about 8 years ago, and the woman got into the Relax Sauna at the conference and then took it up to her hotel room, and her elbow pain she'd had for 1 year, gone in one session. And I've had, even back when we were doing the Cancer Control Society conference in LA, every Labor Day weekend, we had one lady, her scar tissue she had after she got it, in 3 weeks, the scar tissue she'd had for 17 years, gone. Another person, her shoulder for 17 months, gone. I mean, the shoulder didn't disappear, but the pain disappeared. This guy, he came out of the sauna and he picked something up. He said, my hand, I haven't been able to do this for, we had one massage therapist said, man, this is better than a massage. I said, careful, don't say that. You're a massage therapist. And I remember when I got my first reflexology treatment in 1976 and sometime later, my first massage, it was scary. It was scary, to do these things. And then scarier things when I first got a colonic, to detoxify. That was really scary. I mean, these are things that are the furthest away from a person, just, a child growing up in America. Even going into a health food store when I was allergic to wheat way back in the 70s, it seemed so sterile. They weren't really the organic health food stores we find now, but they were the beginning of it. And so it's really exciting when you move beyond normal to abnormal. See, a goal in my life was I wanted to be normal because I felt abnormal. Well, now I really love being abnormal.
It's like I use the word weird on the front end, and we can have a checklist here. You might be weird if you've done colon hydrotherapy, gotten massage, reflexology, sat in a relaxed sauna, take herbs, but that's actually normal.
Yes. And 70 is the new 30 and 80 is the new 40. I'm discovering this stuff. The arthritis gone all the time. I mean, piece of cake. People come in, over and over and over. Half your pain is gone. One lady for a year, she knew about the Relax Sauna, but she just didn't want to go in it. And finally, about 4 weeks ago at a conference we were doing in California, she got in it, and her leg pain that she'd had for 8 months, gone in 5 minutes, 6 minutes. And she was going on, it's gone. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And people, they come back. This is in Denver at a conference I did probably 2003. The lady came back and said, hey, I've never slept better in a hotel in my life. In Cincinnati, a couple of years later, I delivered the Relax Sauna to this lady's. She bought it. I delivered to her hotel room. She came back the next morning as if she was mad. Phil, I want to tell you, I've never slept better in a hotel in my life. One lady said she got the sauna because she had fibromyalgia and heard that it helped. Yes, it did help. But she says, Phil, you didn't tell me it was going to fix restless leg syndrome.
Yeah.
I was a candidate. 8 experimental drugs I've been on over the years. None of them worked. In a short period of time since having the Relax Sauna, it's all gone.
It's funny as we talk about these things. Relax Sauna is not a cure for these things. It's one of those things that makes your body work more like it's supposed to. And in the case when you mentioned someone with the peripheral neuropathy, essentially from the vaccine injury, not feeling things in hands, as an example, that's neurological. And the Relax Sauna might not cure that, but it might make the body work like it's supposed to, and all of a sudden the nerves are working. Well, wait a second. If you can make the nerves work like they're supposed to, then what can it not help?
What can divine love not do?
Yeah.
And so that's how I liken it to. It's like, it's not a panacea. Sometimes people, well, it helps everyone, but sometimes we're not aware of it. But it does transform, cleanse, purify, increases circulation. See what it does. The Relax Sauna, it vibrates the water molecules. That's all it does. What does far infrared energy saunas do, or far infrared energy? It vibrates the water molecules, one thing only. But that's magical. There's
no cure for anything, really. The only curing can be done by you. You're your own best doctor. The doctor is within. And when you give the doctor what it needs, it does its best work. And that is curing you and replacing things that need to be replaced, fixing things that need to be removed. Let's get rid of this cell and that tissue and replace it and renew it. When you give the body what it needs, that happens literally anything can be healed when it has the
Hippocrates.
right influence, the
Yeah.
right things are surrounding, the right materials, the right nutrition, the right thought processes, the right rest, and it all works together. And I can see where the Relax Sauna could be a big part of making things work more like they're supposed to. I love it.
Well, Hippocrates put it this way. He said, find me a way to create fever and sweat, and I will cure any disease. Now, when he came onto American soil and said that, they put him in jail because you're not allowed to cure anything except for beef.
Yeah.
However, the Relax Sauna will raise body temperature because you have the vibrating water molecules. And so if all the water molecules in your body are vibrating and there's 100 people in a small room dancing, the room is going to get hot. So your body temperature is going to increase and fulfill the dream of Hippocrates. Because if you look into PubMed.com, what does a fever do? It does 5 main things. It detoxifies you, which we already know in terms of the water molecule vibrating. It's going to increase circulation and get rid of stagnant areas of the body, which are breeding grounds for mold and bacteria, and get rid of inflammation. Scar tissue and inflammation gone. It was surprisingly. It oxygenates the body. In the oxygenation, like ozone or other ways, or chlorine dioxide, different ways to oxygenate the body, will kill the anaerobic bacteria and can kill many parasites. Yeah. Then what it also does, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And because the Relax Sauna is 100% active ingredient, like curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric, the fact that the Relax Sauna is 100% loving light. Now, near-infrared is so far away, between 0.76 and 2 microns, is so far away from our frequency of 8 and 9.4 that we don't see it as us. We see it as different, so we naturally resist it. And that resistance causes tension, and it's harsh compared to the soft, loving light, which is the same frequency as us, of far infrared between 7 and 14 energy. So as a result of that, the concentrated amount of that makes the Relax Sauna activate the parasympathetic in a way that others can't even approach. A guy on Reddit.com in 2017 did a study, and in the study, the Amazon sauna increased body temperature 0.5 degrees and had no effect on the heart rate variability. And the research on far infrared saunas, and the many thousands of research articles on far infrared saunas, they increase heart rate variability, and that's one of the heart's ability to function, called HRV, in any situation. The Mayo Clinic says their heart patients should not do regular saunas. They should not do hot tubs because the heart will have to race to maintain an equilibrium between the body temperature and the outside. But they recommended highly far infrared saunas because the heart doesn't have to race. It's extremely therapeutic. So these are some of the kind of things that happen. But when you activate the parasympathetic, you get to this place where that nervous caffeine energy is not there. You're in the present moment. You're prodded. The Relax Sauna lovingly, gently gets you into the present moment and soothes you. So kids with autism, the anxiety goes away. Anyone with depression goes away. This 20 years ago, this friend of mine got in and said it lifted her depression in 5-10 minutes. These are the miracles that you asked about, fibromyalgia, neuropathy, like you said, and Raynaud's syndrome. My ex-wife had Raynaud's syndrome all the time. And then for the last 15 years, she has had one episode.
Yeah.
I had an asthma attack, gone in minutes. Chills twice I've had in the last 20 years, gone in minutes.
And I'm going to say it again, though. The Relax Sauna is not curing anything, but it does things such as you mentioned, putting you in a parasympathetic state. Well, okay, all kinds of chemistry things are happening when you do that. The sympathetic state, body systems are kind of shut down and everything's concentrated in the fight or flight. And when you get out of that and you come back to the present, back to the real, sympathetic relax, the whole body starts working like it's supposed to. You know me for our raw frozen aloe vera. And I
Yeah,
like to remind
right,
people aloe
right.
vera doesn't cure anything. It does things that make your body work in a way that you would want it to, and it stimulates certain parts of your immune system and provides all kinds of healthy nutrients. And there's mechanisms by which it can help you fight cancer, but it doesn't cure cancer. I know a lot of people that used aloe in their process of curing cancer, and their bodies worked more like they were supposed to, and they cured cancer. Thank you for tuning in to the Dr. Haley Show podcast. Because you made it this far, I have a special coupon code that you can use throughout the month of July 2025. Get $10 off your purchase of $100 or more at HaleyNutrition.com. The coupon code is July 2025. That's JULY 2025. And as usual, you can even use this coupon with on sale and already discounted bundled items. Enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Your raw aloe vera juice is by far the most energy. My body just responds to that like no other aloe vera. We've been selling it in my health food stores for years. And I can still right now remember that power surge of incredible energy that I would get when I would drink your aloe vera.
But I'll still say it doesn't cure anything. But people will, get cured when they're doing all the right things, because they're activating the doctor within them to do what it needs to do. And the beautiful thing about these things, Phil, when we're doing things that are healthy for us, beneficial for us, as we're essentially lighting up the doctor within, and we're replacing the things that used to take us the other direction. Our body's working better. It's fighting things. It's curing itself of things that we don't even know we have. We don't even have to diagnose and know what the heck the problem is. We just need to live right, and our body is defeating illnesses, pathogens, viruses, bacterial infections, neurological deficiencies. It's curing it all by itself. We just give the body what it needs, remove the things that are interfering with that.
You know what I call the Relax Sauna sometimes? I call it Robin. Like Tesla and Edison and even Jacob Lieberman, an ophthalmologist, they all say the future of medicine is frequency, vibration, and light energy, including invisible light. And the Relax Sauna generates this beautiful light that vibrates the water molecules. Now, there's a half a dozen to a dozen different technologies that have surfaced. Like right now, red light is like a fad. Everyone's talking about red light. And red light is good. I used to sell a red light machine back in the 80s.
Really?
And yeah,
you may have been the first.
Well, there's a man in Seattle who invented a little pulsed red light and solid red light. And we were selling that at health conferences. But the Relax Sauna table lamp at 250 watts, we found had a lot better results as shows than his red light. Occasionally we'd sell a red light. Some people would want that. But you've got red light. You've got near-infrared lasers. You have PEMF machines. You have microcurrent technology. You have ozone. You have hyperbaric oxygen therapy and the cold plunges. You have the cryotherapy. You have all these different technologies. And this one lady who had a booth in the same aisle as us came to the Relax Sauna, and she said, wow, I'm bringing my partner here. Her partner came in. They sell microcurrent technology, and the partner got in, and all of a sudden she'd had cancer like 4 years before, and all of a sudden all her after 8 minutes everything started rebuilding itself in her body. But both of them said, this is what will make our microcurrent technology work better. So if you have a Batman, like PMF machines, the Relax Sauna, will make it work more therapeutically. Any product you take, you have binders, use the Relax Sauna with it because it gives you oomph to get it out of the system. It gives you the oomph you need, and it's magical.
You're reminding me of research that was done with the aloe vera by a chemotherapy company, where they had 240 stage 4 cancers, and they gave all of them only 1 ounce of aloe per day. It was 119 of them got 1 ounce of aloe per day. All 240 got their chemotherapy. But their conclusion was, this kind of makes me laugh, that their chemotherapy works better when they're getting the aloe.
Again, the world is backwards, isn't it?
So I don't know if the microcurrent was even necessary. Maybe there were some benefits there, but
there are instances where these other machines are effective. They have their value, but in terms of, I think of the Relax Sauna more like MasterCard, priceless. I say that the Relax Sauna is a $20,000 sauna selling for $1,700 and $2,300, and it's 3 times more therapeutic than any $8,000 sauna. I mean, I've sold probably 100 Relax Saunas as an upgrade for an $8,000 wooden saunas that take too long to preheat and just don't feel as good because they have a mixture of that harsh, not really harsh, but sort of harsh, and the soft, loving light of the far infrared ray. And it makes a difference in the way you feel. I've never heard anyone say, I feel like my grandma's giving me a loving hug when they go into a wooden infrared sauna from another company. It just is a different kind of a feeling. And how do you get this across? I mean, it's like Rebecca Harder wrote a book called Gastro Girl, and she was a colon hydrotherapist, and she also had a hyperbaric oxygen chamber clinic in Taos, New Mexico. And for 10 years, she would go by our booth at the colonic shows and just turn her nose and say, well, I have a wooden sauna, an $8,000 wooden sauna. That couldn't do what this does. And then after 10 years, she got in for 3 minutes, and oh my God, she couldn't believe the difference. And has about 20 pages on far infrared and about 6 pages on the Relax Sauna in her book, Gastro Girl, Healing the World One Colon at a Time. And this, again, one by one, people finally come around. And like I've sold 3 saunas in the last 3 weeks to people who have $8,000 wooden saunas in their home. And the Relax Sauna feels better. Plus, it doesn't take 20, 30, 40 minutes to preheat. And also the fact that you can set it up in 3 minutes, tear it down in 2 minutes. It fits in a Samsonite Omni 28-inch spinner suitcase that's 20 and a half inches wide because the chair is 20 and a half inches wide. And it fits in a suitcase, and you can still put an extra 10, 15 pounds of clothes in there and take it on the airplane and not be charged oversize. All the other portable saunas would be called oversize if you take them on a plane. Relax Sauna, no. And it fits in a little travel case with a radiator, and the tent folds that can fit in a 24-inch suitcase.
Yeah.
If you're not taking the chair with you. This is the convenience that people love. It's like, if it's not easy to use, people don't use it.
Yeah, and the chair, like as you said, you don't have to take that with you because wherever you're going, you might have all you need is a folding chair. Put a towel over it.
That's right.
You'll be just fine in there. Fits under the bed. Everything can tuck away nice. But mine has been set up for the last few years.
Yeah, I leave mine set up. People ask me if I have a Relax Sauna in my home, and I said, no. I have 3. I've got the lie-down sauna. In my bedroom, I have another sauna. This is my office. And
now, is the lie-down sauna using the same technology?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and it just lies on the bed, or it can lie on a massage table or the floor on a yoga mat.
Also with your head out if you want?
Yeah, or head in.
Yeah,
See that this, I like to say we're pro-choice. We give you the choice to put your head
sure.
in or out.
Yeah,
I mean, people don't realize it, but see, like with your head out, your sinuses will clear in about 7-8 minutes. With your head in, it'll clear in 2-3
okay.
minutes every time. I mean, it's magical. It's just here's a toy. Experiment with it. Do whatever you want. Do it for 40 minutes. Do it for an hour. People say, "How long can you be in the sauna?" I said, "Well, it depends how good the movie is."
Yeah, I
but
think I
but
max out at about 20 minutes though.
20 minutes and like Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. Rhonda Patrick and probably Joe Rogan, they all say that the Finnish saunas are the best, and they create heat shock proteins. And Rhonda Patrick says that the wooden infrared saunas cannot create as many heat shock proteins as the intense 180 to 212 degree in the Finnish sauna for that high extreme athlete, that they can't do that. That they don't know that the relaxed sauna at 140 degrees can outperform any Finnish sauna.
Yeah.
And that's our secret, But again, like I
Right.
said
Yeah.
earlier, people say, I have a real sauna. It's like, well, Dr. Robert O. Young has been using saunas for about 30, 40 years, probably one of the first in the world, to really do it regularly. And he uses the Relax Sauna. I met him at a cancer conference 10 years ago. There are 6 cancer clinics that sell the Relax Sauna to their patients after they come visit for a week or two. Then they send them home with a Relax Sauna. And Lyme disease, oh my gosh, we've got, if you go to YouTube and put in Relax Sauna testimonials and then do a search, go to the videos, do a search for Lyme, there's about 20 videos of people say, I don't have symptoms of Lyme disease.
That's amazing.
Chronic pain, back pain especially. People go in the shows all the time. It's if you could be a fly on the wall, listening to what people say when they get out of the Relax Sauna for 5 to 7 minutes, you would buy the Relax Sauna in a heartbeat. One guy with sciatica problems, constant pain, 6.5 weeks, pain 7, 8, constant. Maybe it'd go down to a 5 or 3. He could sleep for half an hour, 2 hours. He went in the sauna in 10, 12 minutes. He did a double dose. He came out sweating. I tell people you don't sweat. Well, you can choose to sweat, but I put people in who haven't sweated in 10, 20 years and they sweat. This is, if you're not a methylator, you're going to have problems sweating. The Relax Sauna fixes that. But the guy with the sciatica, pain was gone, 0 pain after 12. He's jumping up and down like, look, ma, no hands. He's like, if I was a multimillionaire, he said, I'd buy this for every old age home in the country. I mean, these are the kind of reactions I get, and you get wonderful experiences from all saunas, but not like the Relaxed Sauna. In other words, if you lived 5 miles from a grocery store and someone gave you a vehicle, a bicycle, you would be telling everyone in the world how incredible bicycles are. And I come around a couple months later and say, hey, I got a great vehicle, that'll get you to the grocery store even faster. No, I love my bicycle. I mean, my bicycle is my dear friend. I said, okay. Then a week later, I said, hey, you want to come to the grocery store with me? Sure. Hop in my Mercedes. And then you go to the grocery store and you come back. And he says, I can't believe how smooth that ride was. And it was way faster. And I can actually bring the groceries back. So all the saunas are good, and it's hard to convince people. And when they go in for 5, 7 minutes, that does it for a lot of people, because they say, I've never felt this good in a sauna before. And about 100 or 200 of the testimonies we have on YouTube are about people say, I've been in 3, 4 other saunas. None feel this good. Certainly not this early, not in 2 minutes, but not ever.
Wow. Where are you going to be in the next coming months? I know that you do quite a bit of traveling and appear at many trade shows. You have any coming up soon?
Well, I'm going to be doing a biohacking show in Chicago, the 26th, 27th of July. I'm going to be at the Red Pill Expo. I love that expo in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's in different places of the world.
You said did you say Red Pill Expo?
Red
I
Pill Expo
haven't
on
heard
the
of it, but
12th and
I
13th
like the
of
title.
July. The guy who wrote the book, The Creature of Jekyll Island, G. Edward Griffin, he was the first expo I went to after COVID. Is like October 2020 at Jekyll Island, Georgia. And, anyone, I mean, the people at these expos are people who, they're renegades. They don't believe in anything. I don't even believe in belief. As a matter of fact, there's nothing I believe and there's nothing I'm not willing to believe, because belief has the signature of the word belief shows it all. BELIE, lie, F. So
Funny.
when you believe something, it means you don't know it. And I like to be the knower.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's other shows coming up. I mean, I think September 26, 28 weekend, I've got about 7 shows booked already.
Yeah, well, for anyone listening, if there's a show near you, if it's a good one, if it's one of the, biohacking type trade shows, chances are Phil will be there. And you can.
We go to a lot of the functional medicine doctor shows, the naturopathic doctor show. We'll do that in August, at the end of August in Las Vegas, where I live now. And I mean, it is so much fun. To me, it's like going to a high school reunion every 2 weeks. I mean, because you meet old friends and it's like you keep up with them. And these are my parties. These are the parties I go to. I never got into alcohol. I never liked the taste. I never liked the effect. But I got into holistic health, and I love the effect of fasting and cleansing and purifying. And it's a lifestyle of learning to listen. You listen to your heart, you become still and tune in. And when you go in the Relax Sauna, it's like truth serum. Because you're gently guided into getting into the present moment, and that's magical. And again, it's allowing yourself to be. It's just sort of like just forgetting about everything else. That's what surrender means. You get into the present moment, and all the worries and concerns are history. And I've had a lot of people go in the Relax Sauna. They said their heart opened, and other people said all these problems I've been, I put my head in 5-7 minutes. All these issues I've been working on are all solved, all resolved. And so it's emotional, mental, and physical, and it is real. It's like, our goal is a Relax Sauna in every home. We feel that homes should be built around the Relax Sauna, that it's one of the essential appliances. Like it works like a washing machine. You got the invisible water that goes through the solid clothes. You're kidding me. That water is going to go through these solid clothes? Yeah, we call it saturated or wet. So the Relax Sauna invisible light is going to go through your body and cleanse every cell of your body the way water cleanses fibers of clothes. And that's magical, because when the water molecules vibrate, you're just going to cleanse and cleanse. And if you use binders and in aloe vera and all sorts of other products with it, you're going to have it's not one thing. It's just listening.
Lifestyle.
And your formula in life will be given to you because you're listening. And when you get into the Relax Sauna, it helps you listen, because it helps gently guiding you into the moment and then the mitochondria start creating energy in a way that it's like, and so people come out of the Relax Sauna and says, I don't understand it, because they're not a meditator. I don't understand it. I feel relaxed and energized at the same time. Now, one lady, her husband was a doctor, and they had an $8,000 wooden sauna in their home. And she came down at a mental health conference about 10 years ago into the Relax Sauna in her bathing suit and did a 30-minute sweat. And an hour later came back and said, Phil, after 8 to 10 minutes, and I tell people 8 minutes is when you start sweating. It's like magic. In 22 minutes, you're done. So she said, after 8 to 10 minutes in the Relax Sauna, I experienced the deepest, most profound sense of relaxation that I've ever experienced in my life, not just in the sauna, but in my life. And when you get these kind of comments, you just melt, and you're just so grateful that you can be of service. As a matter of fact, talking about service, I've learned that the worst thing we can do is judge. See, I hate when people with wooden saunas judge the Relax Sauna, but the worst thing you can do is judge. And I found the antidote to it. It's a light switch. You turn the judgment switch off and you turn the observe switch on. And strangely enough, observe comes from the word serve. So when you're observing, you're serving the divine because that's all you can serve. Now, interesting enough, when people watch a sunset, you're observing a sunset, you say, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous, like a childlike awe. I mean, oh my God. Usually people do not say, I think the orange should go where the purple is. That would be a judgment. And so I was talking to someone about 5 months ago, and they didn't understand the difference between an observation and a judgment. I said, how can that be? And so after, pondering it, like when you're in the shower, when you're eating, when you're driving, and you're just whatever you're doing, it dawned on me that I found a dark lining in every judgment that you do not find in an observation. It's called a complaint.
Yeah, I heard someone say the difference, judgment has an emotion attached to it.
Bad or good.
Yeah, I guess it could be either.
Yeah, instead of it just is.
But we tend to judge with the negative emotion.
Yes. Now, I was at the airport and I caught myself making about 20 judgments in 1 second. I said, oh, shit. So I switched into observe mode and I had the best time for the next 10 minutes.
It's a lot easier, to observe.
Yeah.
Mentally. Less draining. Well, Phil, I enjoyed the conversation. For anyone that wants to check it out, get a relax sauna at relaxsaunas.com. I don't know why I have a hard time saying that. I can't say it 10 times fast, that's for sure.
Now, also, do you have a discount code we can give people?
I don't believe I do, but
let's create one.
If
now,
you want to,
when
Dr. Haley, DRHALEY would be a wonderful one.
Okay, so why don't we give them a like about 10 days? Let's give them till Sunday, July 13th to order a Relax Sauna, and the Dr. Haley discount code will be worth $150 until that time, after which it'll then be worth $100 for the next year or two. So it'll be $150 until Sunday, July 13th. And then starting Monday, July 14th, it'll still work, but it'll only be $100. But we'll give them an extra motivation to break the inertia, because the law of momentum will always overcome the law of inertia. So we'll give them a reason to order early to save that extra $50. So it'd be $150 off.
Well, thank you.
And there's
thank
no
you for
tax.
Doing that for
Also,
our followers.
Yes.
That's great. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you. And, thank you for helping me in my journey to, embrace these new things. It's been a good 15 years or so since I first met you. And my life has definitely evolved in meeting you and people like you. So thank you for being who you are.
And I want to give a plug to you. Will you call me later? I want to order some frozen aloe for you to send to me, because I missed that taste. I mean, it just such a feeling that I got from doing that raw aloe. I mean, wow. So
we'll make it happen.
Great.
God bless you, Phil. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to reconnect. Always is. Thanks so much, Michael.
I hope you enjoyed that episode today on The Dr. Haley Show. Make sure to hit subscribe on whichever platform you are listening to this. If this episode made you think of someone, go ahead, take a screenshot, and share this exact episode with them. You can catch the show notes for this episode on www.drhaley.com. If you want to geek out with Dr. Michael Haley on other radical health topics, be sure to check out his YouTube channel, where he posts exclusive video content. All the details are at www.drhaley.com, and we can't wait to hang out with you on the next episode.